Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Frozen Frontier. It is the next day. It is the 24th of February.
Was I successful in scroll creation? Do we need to roll for that?
Ew.
Wait, I can
You're always successful in scroll creation,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, it is the 25th of February.
There's a chance to make cursed scrolls.
That's true. We haven't rolled any of that for Yaramir yet.
Are you serious? Maybe it is some geometer BS.
Maybe. Or maybe there's just so many small details to keep track of already that this one just got completely lost.
Maybe it's you roll when you cast it if you're a lower level. I thought there was a chance based.
Why don't you look it up, Ryan? While everyone
it's
else
been a long
runs around
time
the
since
woods.
I've made a scroll.
Neal, for that night when we set up, this place is really, really cold, right?
Yeah.
Like cold enough that we'd be freezing these fish, so I could make sushi and it'd be relatively safe to eat.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you had rice.
I'm gonna
Sashimi.
Yeah, you can do sashimi. That's fine.
Yeah. So next time we're there, I'm gonna say we should requisition some rice.
Makes it Faris invents sushi. Are you trying
but yeah, I don't. We're gonna experiment with some different ways of making fish.
I found a fun cursed scroll table somewhere in the DMG.
But yeah, I also
Bad
related.
luck. The character's beard grows 1 inch per minute. Characters teleported away from the rest of the party.
No,
Random monsters.
That doesn't sound like it fits in with our play game style.
No.
All right.
All right.
So here you are.
Okay, so I wake up in the morning nice and early, and I go to Yaramir. Is he awake?
Yeah. Or whatever.
Don't I usually take the last watch?
Yeah, I think Yaramir is awake and naked, hanging out in the tent while you are waking up.
All right.
I'm using my mirror to memorize spells.
You ready to go soon, Yaramir? I'll make us some breakfast and then we'll head out.
Sounds excellent. Yes.
I don't want this to take all day. All right.
I will consult the bones before we go.
Very well. You do that. I'll prepare some food, and whatever we usually have for breakfast, I make it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to make a couple quick skill checks before we go.
I make some tea.
First thing, I have a folklore proficiency. I would like to see if I know anything about willow trees. Because specifically,
Okay, do we want scroll rules or are we dealing with this another time?
In a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Continue. Yaramir.
Okay, so specifically in the center of this forest, which is made out of much different trees, right? Birch and cedar, is this large willow with numerous branches and this like circle of magic around it, right? And there's standing stones. So I want to know if I know any folklore about willow trees in a forest, or about standing stones of the gods and curses.
Okay, so give me some folklore rolls.
How many do you
order.
want for that?
Why don't we do 3? Willow trees, curses, and standing stones. In that
Willow
order.
trees is a 22. Curses is 16. Standing stones are 31.
All right, so standing stones are a common thing across many cultures. They're sort of, there's not much in the way of like primitive, since this is a magical world and everyone kind of existed with tech to begin with, but they are a very common way of communing with gods or like presenting yourself to deities in natural areas. So maybe instead of primitive, like let's say it's a very rural way of worshiping the gods.
It's a way of worship or a way of communing?
A little bit of both, Usually,
do I know the process of communing? Like, could I use the standing stones like I do with bones?
It's usually like a similar thing to prayer, Someone in a rural area might have some standing stones and use that as a temple or as an altar. And just as a replacement.
Did I get so it's like a replacement of a temple. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
And for the willow tree, you don't know too much about it. Willow trees have some sort of meaning, but it's usually for like fairies and brownies and like small spirited fae folk. Are usually the things that are most closely associated with willow trees outside of like poetry and nice gentle winding rivers and that sort of thing. But to be honest,
folklore, there's small forest spirits associated with willow
but to be honest, like you're knowledge of willow trees is pretty lacking.
Okay.
Like, you've read
So
a couple of things.
Maybe I wonder to myself then, as I think on this, that perhaps a corrupted willow tree may lead to corrupted small folk of the forest, perhaps scrags. Okay, cool. And then so before I wrap up, I want to make an omen reading check. I'll get Manji's bones out and lay them. And I'll ask the question if I can dispel... I'll ask two questions. The first one... what will happen to the forest, or if I dispel the willow, how safe will we be, or will the forest be safe? And if I destroy the willow, will the forest be safe?
Sure. Let me make some checks here for my d20s. There they are. If you dispel the willow, will the forest be safe is the first question.
Yes.
The answer you get back... God, it's always so hard to make these things.
You're welcome, Neal.
How do you say?
No.
Doesn't it only give you two possible scripts, either wheel or woe?
Those are, general guidelines. I try and do a little bit better than wheel or woe. The answer you get back is something along the line. It looks like a fish swimming in frozen water is kind of the idea that you're getting back, like a fish in cold water.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As like instead of warm water, putting it in cold water, sort of like a similar effect to just having a fish swim in cooler water than it would like, is the answer for if you dispel it. And as for if you destroy the tree, will the forest be safe? Actually, the stones fall in the exact same pattern. It's this like, you're changing things, but you're not really changing things.
Cool. Okay. I pick them back up and join William.
So
we ready?
where are you going?
So it was described previously as we walked through this forest that at the center of it, towards the river in the middle of the forest, there was a circle, like an area, like an empty area with a willow hanging in the center, numerous branches.
Yeah, so you're headed to the center of the forest?
Yeah. And
Assuming it doesn't attack us from our first step in.
Right. So let me just read about the forest again. Within the cover of trees, there is no snow on the ground, just frozen dirt. The ground and trees here, blah, 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 blah. The bark of the trees is a deep crimson or violet, twisted and gnarled with spiky protrusions, not typically found on trees of this kind. Many trees, especially on the outside and near the middle, are decorated with human bones. Some grown over by the tree, some hanging on branches, some nesting in nooks. The forest is comprised entirely of elms and birches. The ground readily... That's DM text. DM text. In the woods is a great willow tree in the center of the woods.
Okay, well, before we get to the center, we're not getting attacked when we first walk in?
No, you step in tentatively and are able to take another step and another step, and the two of you soon disappear from the sight of the party watching from the wall.
So as we're walking around, looking at all the bones adorning these trees, I say, Yaramir, don't you have some sort of spell that allows you to see the last moments of somebody's life? Perhaps one of these bones may give us a clue as to how they died.
The metagame is strong with this non-wizard.
I yet to have this power, William.
All right.
You're right,
sure.
I do have a spell similar, but all I can do is see an image of how they looked as they lived. I do not have the power to see their last moments.
I guess I misunderstood when you cast it that time.
I have yet to cast spell in front of anyone, I thought.
Well,
Memories from another life, perhaps.
I take back my statement then.
You might have seen me create an image of my daughter in a piece of stone, but...
No, I think maybe it was a weird dream.
All right, this is fair. I have weird dreams all the time. Perhaps you should talk to me about them.
I'm sure you do. My dreams have been getting steadily weirder since I've met you.
I have that effect on people.
I dreamt the other day that while I slept, a strange naked man was crouched over me and tattooing my skin.
Oh, I would never tattoo your skin. I may paint on it from time to time.
I never suggested that you did.
I mean, unless you would like a tattoo. I am not the best tattoo artist, but I can replicate my own symbols very nicely. Does one appeal to you?
You're a doctor, right? If you could do something on my knees first, that'd be preferable.
I have many thoughts on how that might happen. Perhaps we are closer to a breakthrough than you think.
I'm not sure what happened, but ever since the ghosts below the fort, I think I had a chill. I think it's just the cold, but my knees are killing me.
I can understand that. You know, I have been thinking about your knees, and I am in process of creating a method to perhaps breathe some life back into them. I think it will be very beneficial to you.
Well, like a cast or something. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
A magic cast, yes.
Nice. So, what's the plan here? I say, like, looking cautiously at the spiky, bone-ridden trees.
Well, if you remember last time, there is a ring of magic, alteration magic, I believe, around tree.
Yeah.
It was broken last time by, was it you? Perhaps it was Grimes. I do not remember who Shenanigans Maker was, but it was broken last time and trees attacked. So
you think that's what caused them to attack? Okay.
I think so. At least, I think these trees are like. Do you know of plant that sits with mouth open, waiting for bug to go inside it, and then snap? I believe these trees are much like that. They wait for a prey to approach them, then drop acid on them. I don't think they actively attack, except for when.
But all these bones, though, they've been placed here, right? They haven't grown out of the trees.
Perhaps those are victims unlucky enough to stay underneath with the acid for too long.
I mean, what? Would you really start trying to climb the tree as it was dripping acid on you? Like, some of these are up in the branches right now. Somebody's put them there.
I presume that these are people that have been perhaps devoured by tree, much like bug and flytrap.
But how does it get up there?
Perhaps trees cannot digest bones so easily.
So how does it get up there?
How does a tree grow so tall, William?
Yeah, but how does the bones of these... Are they even human bones? I say, like, taking a closer look. Are they all human?
I don't know. I have an anatomy proficiency. Can I?
Yep.
Can I
give
know?
it to me. Give me the anatomy proficiency check.
27.
Yeah, they're all human.
Yes, it seems they are all human bones.
So all Caldonians?
Conceivably, yes, unless there were much more intrepid adventurers here than we thought.
Could the souls of these men be trapped here?
Is quite possible.
It's more than enough reason to carry on forward.
I agree.
You make it to the center of the woods where there is a great willow tree. Its branches reach out at least 60 feet from the base and are propped up and supported by other small willow trees. Placed around the central tree at about 30 feet are 4 stones, one in each of the corners of the cardinal directions, with another 2 stones placed slightly further out, another 10 feet or so in the north and the south, and 1 stone that is even 10 feet further out, but on the east side. You recognize these as having the symbols of the gods. The 4 closest are Martha, Aster, Verasi, and Malchus. The north and south ones are Tempos and Nadinus, and the eastern one is Falumbra. Each of these stones have these runes and the constellations of the gods on them. Yaramir, can you give me an intelligence check?
I can indeed. 32!
All right. It has been some time since you've been here, and you've gained in power and understanding since the last time. So inspecting these runes, you notice that they definitely have to do with crossing some sort of border or some sort of bridge or like a gateway between two places. They're definitely used in some sort of like traveling spell, some sort of magical travel between things.
Very interesting. Wow. Okay.
So
I guess I have an arcanology proficiency. I would say this is definitely ancient magic, right? Can I determine the purpose of said traveling, I guess, or I guess that intelligence check kind of encompasses what arcanology would tell me, right?
I mean, they're used somehow. You don't know how, but they're used somehow in magical travel as a bridge or a gateway.
So much like I did last time, I wish to cast detect magic, and look once again at the the stones now with this new understanding, and then again at the 15-foot line of alteration magic around the willow, and perhaps just take a glance for anything else that's there.
Just to add flavor, this is mostly going to be Greg's bit, but William stands as still as he can, nervously looking around, holding his sword, like just waiting for the Scrags to attack us. So I just try to run the minutes by until Yaramir tells me. I kind
of tell you, like, stay close, William. My spell will only radiate out about 10 feet, so if things go wrong, you will want to be fairly close to me.
Okay, I'll step in your step.
Okay.
You inspect the trees, you cast detect magic. You get no new information, just the same readings that you got last time from everything.
So the stones are used for magical travel, but they themselves do not radiate magic.
Right. It looks like the central tree is the source, and these stones are aligned in such a way to help facilitate that. Maybe maybe there are permanent components to some other thing going on, but the stones themselves just seem to be stones. Maybe.
Okay, so this ring of magic. I want to step up to that. Is there anything physical that I can see beyond a ring of magic, or is it just a magical aura that goes there?
Just a magical aura.
Okay. Alteration magic. I want to pull out the kind of want to go inside, but when he pushed it last time, the trees attacked. I'll do that last, I guess. I want to pull out the scroll that I just made, the giant scalp, and I will trace into it the runes of dispel magic.
Doesn't it take you all day to make a scroll?
Okay, so I was not successful in creating a scroll last night?
I don't remember what these rules were.
I think it did, right? Yeah, I don't... I agree. I think it took a day.
Yeah, I think it's a day per
geometers have different scroll rules that are way less fun. But it takes one full day, and he rolls a spell learn check. And it sounds like it's transparent. The regular rules are way weirder, and you need
regular rules can give you cursed scrolls.
Yeah, it looks like geometers, and it doesn't mention anything about cursed scroll. It's a different system, or it's a different calculation or whatever.
Okay,
it's just your spell learn check.
I think it did take a whole day.
By default, you can only use geometer spells until you discover the symbol for the spell. But I guess since you've got a tattoo that already has the symbol for the spell, it's like you already did that research or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's just your spell learn check, and it takes a full day per spell level.
Right. So I don't think you got the scroll that you tried to make last night. I think it takes a full day.
So I just need to change my memorization then.
That's fine. You would have been able to do that this morning.
Okay. So I have one less protection, and I have one more dispel magic. And so I instead of casting from a scroll, I take out
6th or 7th level.
6th.
I'm 6th level.
I think you can only make protection scrolls starting at 7th level as geometer.
But
those are generic.
But is protection from evil as using the spell?
I have the spell protection from evil 10-foot radius.
Right. Okay. So you cast Dispel Magic?
Yes, on the. I dispel the radius of magic
Sure.
that I'm next to if I
Give
can.
me a 1d20.
Okay. A 3.
You definitely don't dispel the magic.
Okay. In that case, I don't have any ranged fire. I'll walk up to the willow tree if I can.
Okay. You approach the willow tree. You step within the radius and you're within touching distance of it.
The trees don't attack us?
No?
Okay. The tree itself, it doesn't radiate magic. It just has this aura around it. I'm inside of this tree now.
I mean, the aura, it comes from the tree, so you could say the tree is radiating the aura?
Interesting. Okay.
Is that bones and stuff on this tree as well?
No.
Spikes and stuff. Does this look like a normal willow tree, except massive?
It looks like a very big old willow tree and no bones on it anywhere.
So this one's like not corrupted as much as the other stuff. What are you thinking, Yaramir? Seems to be safe for now.
Seems to be safe for now.
What are all these stones?
They seem to be used in some form of travel. Magical travel. I don't know exactly how yet. I am trying to figure this out, although...
They look religious, right? Is there any... This looks like... I look at the stones. Why is Falumbra... Like this shape? Like the way they're arranged, north, east, southwest, and then an extra on north and south, and then another layer on the east, Falumbra. Does that make a shape that's recognizable from a religious point of view?
Not really. So, sort of. I'm going to direct you to a document. I will put it in Twitch chat as well as a link for you guys. If you scroll down on this document and you take a look at the shape of the world and the cosmos out there, you've got the four primary gods, Aster, Verasi, Martha, Malchus, that are arranged in like corners, and then Tempos and Nadinus are like above and below the world, and they kind of spin and hold the staff that holds the entire world together. And then Flumber would be the moon, which would like kind of spin around the world separately. So the representation is kind of like main gods that turn the planes, and then the gods that hold the world and turn the world, and then Flumbra.
And these are the stars, right? So could the shape of the stones represent a specific point of time, like when the stars are in a specific arrangement?
The stars are always in the exact same arrangement.
But you said Falumbra rotates
She's the moon.
around.
She cruises around, yeah. So if she's on the east, it could mean sunrise or sunset, or maybe it means a certain time of year. Do you have a religion proficiency you can roll?
No.
Does anyone? No?
I've been relying on like backstory religion,
Right.
but it's specifically really probably just Marthian religion.
Yeah. So there's no special meaning to this that you can figure out.
Okay.
Do the stones look like they can be picked up?
No, they're very large, heavy boulders, slightly embedded in the ground.
Is this willow dead?
I think the last time you tried to figure it out, William swung his sword at it, and everything came to life and tried to kill you.
Yeah. that's what did it.
I have past life memorized. I will reach out and like touch the willow and cast past life on it.
Okay. That is a very interesting combination of things that I've never considered you doing.
I read your tweet and said you were completely prepared.
Yes,
I had to come up
I
with
was
something good.
completely prepared for everything. God. All right, so you reach out and you touch this tree. You know, it's not It's not a dead tree.
Okay.
It is
So it would just
still
come back
living.
with nothing, right? Since it's alive.
Right, it's alive, so this spell, you can just feel it fizzle in your hands.
Okay.
You can feel that the tree's alive, I suppose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
God, I wish I had detect alignment. I want to sit the bones down again. And I want to know, is the willow evil? Because we know for a fact that the trees that attacked us are evil because they were repelled by my protection. We don't know much about this willow.
You have your reading comes back as like no. Like,
okay.
nature is not evil. Nature is neutral. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
What if these other trees are have been set up almost like the wall as a way to protect the central gate?
They very well could be. I think you might be right.
Maybe the Scrags didn't want the humans coming to this tree.
This could very well be possible. William,
Yeah.
you might want to leave Forest.
Well, what are you going to do? I don't think we should.
I am probably going to go into a mind state that would be hard to wake me from, which means I wouldn't be able to cast protection on you. So if you leave, you'll be fine.
I'm not going to leave you here to die, Yarmy. It's not worth it.
I think I should be okay.
What are you going to do? Tell me.
I pull out the big bag of hookah. I'm going to meditate.
I look around and I think to Yaramir's stubbornness. And last time the trees, Neal, they sort of became alive, radiating out from the center, right?
I think that's your interpretation of what happened. Yeah.
How long would it take me to sprint out of the forest?
It's about 3 miles. So,
Probably about 20 minutes. If you're running hard,
7 minutes
a 6
a mile?
minute mile is pretty impressive, right? And if you're running for your life, you can probably manage it. But a 20-minute, if you're sprinting as hard as you can, 20 minutes for 3 miles is pretty reasonable. Because you have to consider that most people can't keep up a hard sprint for 3 miles.
He does have 18 dash whatever strength. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But con is probably the bigger issue there.
25 minutes to sprint out, something like that.
Yaramir, look, I'm not comfortable with this, but I know I'm smart enough to try and change your mind, so if you're sure, I'll leave. But if
I
you're
just
not back-
think it would be safest for Captain. Look, you are Captain. If you wish to stay, I will not put up fight. I just think that if things were to go sideways, trees start trying to suck your blood, you might want to be out of forest. Maybe I will be easy to wake up and I can cast spell and everything will be fine. I do not know.
Would you think that smoking this thing is going to make the trees attack? Or do you plan to do something to them?
I'm not going to smoke this tree.
No, I know. But do you think that'll be...
I do not know what makes trees attack. Last time this line, and I kind of just point, you probably can't see the line, I just point back. Last time line was crossed, trees attacked. Now trees are not attacking. So I do not know what triggered them.
I think back, and I'm pretty sure that, I thought a root was trying to grab me, and I attacked it with my sword, but maybe I just, tripped over a root, and then, attacked it. And then started it off. But I didn't say that, I go, well, I'll leave, but if you're not out by sunset, I'm assuming you're dead.
Sounds good.
I'm about.
Okay. I just begin drawing out my traditional 5-pointed star. And I am going to take some of the just ash from our previous fire. And I want to excuse me. I want to draw some symbols on this tree to try to amplify my perception, and I remember thinking back to the symbol of magic that bound the man. What was it, a Kubin in our camp, that when I was able to play with it with wizard sight, I could see the other people watching, and I remember having that on my body. So I with ash paint this onto the tree, the like trunk of the willow, and I sit in the center of my meditation like star, and as usual when I do the medication or the meditation, I try to put myself in this like kind of like mind state. It's a little beyond, and so I take this thousands and thousands year bag of ancient hookah tobacco, and I guess we're gonna smoke a little bit of that, and I attempt to sit and focus through the spell, through the tree, to like see its purpose, and to see its connection to the stones and the trees around it. Maybe kind of like that time I went through the fog and I heard the voices and I was looking for them.
Okay, so we're gonna come back to Yarmir in just a little bit, because William, you start leaving the woods.
Yeah. Tell me I'm gonna die now.
You're not gonna die now.
Okay,
Does
thank
that
you.
feel better?
Yeah.
And you're walking through the woods, and then all of a sudden you find yourself sort of at the edge of the woods without really, you know, you're walking, and then you're at the edge of the woods, and there's the wall before you, and with the snow rise and fall on the other side, and you just kind of skipped ahead.
Like what? Like 20 minutes? More maybe?
You're not sure. You have no idea.
But like I'd only been walking for 10 and now I'm at the wall, so
You've been you can do, you're walking like 3 miles an hour, 3.5 miles an hour, so it's been 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 35 minutes. It's hard to tell. You're in a fucking haunted woods. Your sense of time and everything's really messed up in here, but you are for sure certain that you skipped something.
So I obviously displeased by this.
Wait, Captain. You look like you've seen a ghost. Grimes shouts from atop the wall.
I look up to the wall.
I think I'm
Grimes,
sitting up there with a crossbow in my lap, kicking my feet back and forth.
Were you just watching me just then? Walk up here.
Yeah.
You would have actually seen him sort of sprinting and then slowing and stopping and then looking around like, what the hell? But you would have seen him in a full sprint.
He came running. Where's Yarmir? And I think I jumped down from the wall to the inside. A little concerned. Like I see Captain come running out and then stop, awestruck.
I wasn't
no
running.
wizard in sight.
Was I running the last I remembered?
Nope.
What is he? Is he like flush? Does he look like he's panicked?
I mean, I think I would say
he looked like he was
is the right
fleeing in
word.
fear or something, right?
Did the trees attack?
Halt.
No, I need to go back and check something. If you're too concerned to accompany me, then wait here. Yarmir should be out. He's meditating, I think.
In there.
I like start to think, right, and then the last couple of hours starts to feel like a bit of a dreamlike state. Like I'm not actually sure now.
I think I start walking towards the trees actually. Where's Nimrod? Is he on the wall or is he outside? There's dogs
Nimrod
too, right?
is with Ferris. I don't know where Ferris is
I assume
right now.
Ferris-
I was waiting on the walls.
Yeah,
Okay, so if the two of you are on the
Ferris is
wall,
here in the scene.
I think
Yeah.
Nimrod is back at the camp with the dogs.
The camp is just the other side of the wall, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
down
So
the hill, but
he might
he's
be on the wall as well. I don't know.
So
he's
like
staying
50
away from the
feet
wall
away.
and staying away from the
Yeah.
trees.
Fair
So
She's
if
trying to
Faris-
keep
if
them out of
Faris-
view.
If Faris isn't there, or if Faris is there, I
Yes.
tell Faris, like, Faris, keep watch. Grimes, come and help me with something.
Laying down on the wall. Got it. Ferris is just kind of like inspecting his nails. And
Sure, what do you need?
When Grimes gets down here, I start tracing back my tracks. I suppose I can check my footsteps, right?
There's just earth on the ground. There's no snow within the trees.
So can I or can't I?
Not
I mean,
really, no.
I pull Grimes close and say,
So wait, what's the
I
problem
was-
with his tracks? He can't see them?
You can't follow the tracks on the frozen earth because there's no snow within the confines of these trees, and so it's just like frozen ground.
I say I was. Last thing I remember, I was just walking through the forest, and then I was here. I whisper this to him, so as not for a forest over here.
And like the time just vanished, and suddenly you were
Yeah, like maybe
somewhere
I
else.
blacked out or something. But you said I was running. I'm not sure what I'd be running from. The trees seem safe, right?
No.
Well, come with me. I just see if we can see if there's
Yeah,
anything.
I think without thinking, I follow the captain into the woods.
Inside the woods, we're gonna go back to Yaramir now. You enter a meditation and try and kind of reach out with this tree and see what the hell's going on here. And so you're in your meditative state with your smoke and your 5-pointed stars, and you look at this tree through kind of like your mind's eye. Maybe you're sort of dreaming, maybe you're actually awake, but there's some sort of vision of this willow tree where eyes begin to open on it. Hundreds of eyes begin to open across the tree and stare at you. And you, this feeling from like deep within your chest begins to rise, and it is the feeling of like absolute horror and hatred, like a deep burning desire to destroy everything that you see. And then you get the same feeling coming back from the trees. You get this like intense, like these eyes want to burn holes in your body, and it almost looks like they're coming out of the tree when you, in too much of a state of panic, you break your trance and feel like overwhelmed by terror.
Wow. Okay. That is terrifying. I guess I'm kind of I'm overwhelmed in terror, right? So I guess maybe I'm just kind of like collapsed, huddled in this like embrace of the willow tree.
The boughs of the willow tree begin to move and reach out for your head.
Okay. Let's make a willpower check, eh?
Imagine, right, you've smoked too much weed, you're whiting, and then a tree tries to kill you. Like, that would be.
Okay, I think Yaramir, like is kind of just in a state of panic, and then as the tree reaches out to him, realizes like, okay, I'm in kind of probably a fight for my life here, and he snaps out, like I guess the life or death situation kind of gets his mind back going normally, and he's going to clutch at he's going to reach in his pocket and hold his amulet, but then with his offhand he's going to trace out the heater shield in front of him and try to cast a shield spell.
All right, let's roll me initiative.
All right.
Roll low.
See, this is one thing that I was concerned about with your plan is what if you fail the initiative roll, take a hit, and just get completely screwed over?
It's always a danger.
8 will beat the 10.
Okay. So I roll that initiative, and I do exactly as I described. I put the heater shield up, and I guess I begin backing away, and then I think, no, I'm here, right? This thing needs to go down. In my mind's eye, can I still see its eyes?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Okay. I cast I guess that's my turn, right? Is I cast the shield spell and I begin backing out, and I think, no, let's see if I can hurt this thing. And so I've protected myself as well as I can on this turn, I guess. And having taken a couple stumbling steps back, I like steel my resolve.
All right. The willow tree reaches out with its giant 60-foot bow, and it just sweeps horizontally across the terrain for you with like a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Can it break through the protection from evil?
did not cast protection from evil. I have an amulet, and it does give me.
That was the heater. Never mind. I thought that was what you threw up.
I casted the shield spell against attacks, and then the thing I do know is that the magical amulet gives a bonus versus evil creatures, but it might not be enough to stop a 24.
No, you get hit for 18 damage as the bows of the branch knock you tumbling across the terrain.
Well, that sucks. Okay, that is very problematic.
You want to roll initiative?
Well, I have to, right? If I don't, it just eats me. That does change my tune a little.
I'm gonna hurt this thing. Gets whacked by the Whomping Willow.
Neal, is there any indication for me and Grimes that shit's going down?
No.
Okay.
7 is better than 8. You go first.
Okay. Well, I guess this kind of changes my tune, right? I can't really take another hit like that. That would be too much for me. So I take out my powdered silver, and in a single turn, I create a barrier versus evil that encircles, centered on me, that radiates out 10 feet, and then I begin running out of the forest.
Okay. It encircles you. You begin to flee, and as you do so, you see trees on either side of you begin to uproot themselves as you bolt and run. Are you encumbered at all, Yaramir?
I am.
To just slower to 2/3 move or 3/4 move?
2/3 move.
Yeah.
I think it's 3/4 is what we work with.
Yeah,
That's
I think
true.
we're doing 3/4 for this campaign.
Yeah, I think we did that in all campaigns because 2/3 is because it makes half move less of a jump,
Right.
but then it makes the
it's an
third
uneven.
or something.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so you flee. And the trees beside you begin to sprout. They're fairly slow moving, but you notice that the awakening of the trees is a rippling effect that is beginning to catch ahead of you. It's beginning to outpace you. You know, like the trees in front of you are starting to animate.
I'm less
but then-
worried about the trees animating because I know from past experience that my protection is good as long as I don't attack them. I just need to get out of here before my protection runs out, right? So I'm just hustling.
Sure. All right, so you begin to bolt out. Meanwhile, William and Grimes are headed in.
Yeah. I think we turn around if we notice the trees coming alive further into the forest.
Yeah, that's definitely something
I think
that
we
happens.
turned around when you came confusedly running out of the woods, and I was like, "Where's Yaramir?"
I think he's saying he turns around and heads back out when the trees animate.
Yeah. So as soon as I see the
do
trees
we see
starting
trees
to
coming to
move,
life?
You do.
I say, Grimes, run. And I turn around and
What about Yaramir?
he's got his spells.
Right. I guess we withdraw.
I'm not.
Yaramir, you are bolting. One of the trees gets up before you and moves to attack you while you're running, but your protection of evil spell kind of comes up to block it, and there's that kind of like shielding glow before you, which then splinters and cracks and crumbles, falling to the ground at your feet.
Okay. That's
The amulet.
not accurate, but okay. I gotta run.
Yep.
So Neal, I wait at the edge of the forest, looking towards the direction I think Yaramir would be coming from.
Yep.
And if I see him, then let me know.
You will see him because he's Yaramir and he's not super fast. He did have a bit of a head start on those trees. One of them does get to attack him, which seems to be breaking the protection of evil spell around him. But by that point, he's most of the way out of the woods, and you'll catch him at the edge as he breaks free.
Okay, so he's free. I was gonna say I run in and try and shield him if he's dying, but
No. He can outpace the trees. They're not very fast creatures. They animate in front of him a little bit, but only one of them gets a successful attack roll off. The others miss.
okay.
That's probably pretty lucky.
So, but he's taking a hit, right? He looks injured.
I do, yeah.
Yes.
I'd say I look about 1/3 of my normal self.
So I think when you break out and maybe fall to your knees, I say, Grimes, give me a hand. And I don't need a hand, actually. I hoist you over my shoulder, walk you back to the camp. And then
Yarmir's cracked rib starts to break and creaking down as he's like leaning into William's shoulder.
I put you down when we get to the fire and say, Yaramir, what happened?
Well, I learned the true nature of the willow. It is hatred incarnate, wishes to destroy everything, kill it all dead. It was stronger than my magics, and I could not defeat it alone, so I ran out as best I could. It seems the trees are getting stronger. They managed to break my protection.
This doesn't bode well. You think it needs to be destroyed?
I think that if we do not destroy it, it is a true evil that will go unchecked. Perhaps these walls will protect us for now, but if this thing decided to, I think that the trees could very well break down these walls. It is truly evil incarnate. I have seen nothing like it.
Wow. Well, it's sobering news. So we don't longer think it's a gateway?
The standing stones may very well be used in traveling somehow. Perhaps they are there to prevent movement. Perhaps this is why it has stayed where it is for so long. Perhaps they are not used to travel somewhere else, but to prevent traveling. I do not know. I would need to study the stones themselves. Perhaps a religious scholar might know more, but...
would be hard-pressed to find one of them that's willing to come here.
Somehow I think that the tree itself is different from the standing stones. I think two different magics are at play.
Can we give up on this quest to try and purge this forest? If the Caledonians couldn't do it, what makes you think our ragtag band is going to be able to manage this?
Okay, Faris, I think we've finally seen the light of your suggestion. We'll be moving on. Yaramir, can I have a word in private? You're not moving, so I turn and look to Grimes and Faris. Do you mind?
Yaramir, can I have a word in private?
Yes, you can go. You can go have your word in private. Ferris says, like sitting down, kind of like filing his nails with his dagger.
Is this this is the camp, right? There's like a bunch of dogs. I get up and I walk like 5 feet over and hang out with Nimrod.
I say, Faris, Grimes, can you do a patrol of the camp, please?
Ferris like looks around at the open tundra all around us and says, "Looks pretty clear."
I just need a moment, please.
Ferris will get up and walk off like 20 feet and pull out the spyglass and look around.
Thank you.
You get your semi-privacy.
Yaramir, when I was walking out of the forest, I lost some time. I was about halfway out, and I came to at the edge of the wall, and Grimes said I'd been sprinting. I was out of breath. My cheeks were flush. Like I was running from something, but I don't remember. The last thing I remember is 10 minutes after leaving you, walking out of there.
Very interesting. Perhaps it is effect of gateway that you were in. Perhaps the standing stones affected you in some way while you were leaving. They do have the properties of traveling. I do not know what it is. Perhaps I could study you tonight, or perhaps there is a residue of magic left on you.
I'd feel more comfortable if you would.
All right, I will allow me to tend to my wounds as best I can, and tonight when we stop, I will do what I can to detect whatever may be left on you.
Can you march? We still have half a day's light.
Yes, these wounds are severe, but not so severe I cannot walk.
Okay.
Or march.
Rest up. I go to the others and say, we're preparing to leave. Gather your stuff. Let's pack up the tent. Let's go. I won't stand another minute by this forest.
All right. Today is a calm day. You spent some of the day doing this thing, so first you want to give us a movement rule, and we'll just take half of it.
Okay. So 11 miles.
Okay, so where do you guys want to go?
South toward, we were given like the location of the lake, so south toward that little expanded bit of river, I guess.
Can you ping on the map where you want to go, or draw a line to it or something?
I guess we'll start with here, like go up to right around where that water starts, and then I'll spyglass around, see if I can find the city from there.
Yeah.
Sure. That'll take most of your movements, about 10 miles to get to there.
So I've got an idea. Can I see anything from where we are right now?
Let's see.
I kind of hope I can't.
You can see about 3 miles, so you can't really see anything.
Yaramir, can you cast Levitate on me?
Sure, I would be happy to.
Can you levitate me a couple 100 feet up in the air for a minute?
Actually, hold on. Let me look at my scalp collection real quick. Perhaps I can do this now. No, I cannot do this now. I can do it tomorrow
morning then. That's fine.
Yes.
It's time to rest anyway.
Yeah.
You guys make camp and rest.
Oh, did we eat the fish that Nimrod caught last night?
Yeah, we've been Ferris has been trying a few different things. So like we tried I guess he started with cooking it. You got to play it safe when you first start out, but I think he's probably going to try and do some raw fish since we can like freeze it to make it safe.
Can we fish here? We're by a stream or by a tributary.
Yes, you can try and fish here.
Sweet. After watching that show, I've got a newfound respect for scurvy, so I think we should try and eat as much fresh meat as we can.
Is there vitamin C in fresh meat?
Well, I think so, yeah. At least a little bit. More so than just like dried meat and biscuits and shit.
We just need to make sure we bring more fruits and vegetables with us, man.
Yeah, we need lemon juice.
A meat-only diet could cause scurvy.
Yeah. I think, because I've said before that I wanted to like sort of change up what our rations consist of to have a wider variety of things so I can make good food out of it because I have that cooking proficiency.
At a certain point, we're
fine.
playing Dungeons and Dragons. We gotta survive on rations, right? Like,
no, that's what I mean though. I'm saying like
there's no reason to try to come
rations.
Right, mechanically it's all rations. I'm saying that I'm like loading up different foods into our rations.
Yeah, I think you're just giving some flavor to it, right? Like
it's flavor.
Neal didn't have time to design a scurvy system.
No, but I think the rations include fresh
draft one
dried
up,
fruit.
come up with the scurvy points. And
it's all flavor text. It's all flavor text. Just remember, Ferris has saved you from dying
points every week. If you,
rations include dried fruit, dried candied fruit, so you're fine there.
Yeah, and you have to eat those to replenish your scurvy points.
Oh my god.
And if you reach 0 scurvy points, it starts removing your.
If you reach 0 scurvy points, you just become a pirate. It's like,
yeah,
all right.
Teeth and scalp stop.
All right. Let's settle down. It is the 26th of February, 1511. It is another calm day, which marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That marks 5 calm days in a row here.
Beautiful. Yaramir, let's try that levitation.
yes.
Interested to see how this will work.
And you just rise up.
Just be careful, please.
I mean, you should be able to hear me from a couple 100 feet up there, says he's like slowly ascending. So if I start panically calling, like, let me down, just, let me down.
I don't know how this works, but if you fall, I'm not going to try and catch you, so.
All right.
I think that would be a terrible idea, William.
Terrible idea. From your elevated standpoint, you look around with your spyglass, and you see the ruins of a city across the lake over in this little area.
So it's on the shore, it's not literally floating in the middle of the lake.
It is not floating in the lake. It is on the shore on the opposite side. You notice there are many walls here. Why does my music keep stopping? What the fuck?
Neal, can you X the map where it is?
Yes. It is right there.
Okay.
See that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to find a way to get across then.
So I think we try and cross here, right?
We don't have any way of crossing though. Well, I guess we could levitate across, but that's probably going to be like a multi-day effort.
I think so, but that's probably what we're going to have to do. So.
Yep. Okay. So Ferris will call to be let back down, and he'll say that we need to cross the river. So our best bet to make it easy would probably be he looked around the spyglass. He says we should go here, and then just cross, and then travel south a little ways and wrap around to get to the city.
Yaramir, stop thinking about how we can use your magic to get across the river.
I have thought about this a lot. So this is what I propose. I pull out the 50 yards of canvas. We shall find the roots and build a large sail on sled. Then we all sit on sled, and someone holds fan and goes whoosh, and I levitate sled with mighty powers, and we will slide frictionlessly across air to other side. Then I lower sled down, and huzzah! We have accomplished feat.
How much can your levitation sustain? Are we going to have to do this in parts?
Very many pounds, but we can do it in parts if need be. Let me determine exact. I have to do calculations in head. Give me a moment.
You'll find that I weigh a lot more than you, Yaromir.
Carry the 2, multiply by pi, square root of negative number.
Whoa, Yaromir, you're getting...
I haven't had a pie in months.
Months. How did you get a pie to Caledonia?
I mean,
levitate up to 100 pounds per level of experience, so I can 600 pounds.
So we're gonna have to do a few trips at least.
We'll have to do a couple trips.
But that should be. I mean, it shouldn't take that long
we
to
can
go.
Use the portable hull to like help a lot of that out.
Yeah, and it's like like 600 feet or something across the narrow parts, right? That should be pretty doable with one levitate.
I have a guilty flashback to a time when I had dinner with Captain Hughes and we had like nice food that nobody else gets, and I feel bad for Grimes.
Okay, so from where are you setting sail?
So we're gonna travel. Oh, let me give you a movement roll for today. So we're gonna get 24 miles. So we're going here, and then we're gonna cross like the narrow part of the river.
So like here.
Yeah, like right there. And then we're going to just walk along the river until we get to the thing.
Sure. So that's 5. That's like 11 miles to get there. The river is less than a mile across. So let's see. If you have a full proper sail that's like built to maximize wind, at most you can go 5 miles in 3.5 hours. So with like people holding the sail, instead of it being properly figured, you can go less than that distance, but you can still go like 2.5 miles.
We have
in a few
rope and
hours.
twine, and I have a bind spell, so let's make this a real sail.
Oh, a bind spell might totally work.
Shouldn't he go a little bit faster on account of not being in the water, so there'd be no like surface friction?
This is for being a sail through the air.
Neal way over prepared for something as simple as just like cross a river.
We had a lot of fun doing the math on this. We enlisted some engineers and some spreadsheets, and it took like 3 hours, and it was amazing.
What a great time. Okay. So we employ our plan, Neal, as best we can.
5 miles seems very slow for a sailboat.
Well, so the thing is that the gust of wind will give you one big push, and then you'll slowly slow down over the period of time. So you actually go more than a mile in less than an hour, but then like the remaining 4 miles is just like slowed because you
Can't we repeatedly do the gusts of wind to keep it consistent though?
You could continually use the gust of wind, but one of the things Yaromir detected about that fan is that it's old and slightly unstable, and repeated uses of it in a short period of time might cause it to break
Let's
or
play it safe.
backfire.
We've got all the time in the world. Let's.
But it might be a multi-day journey at this point.
You can definitely get across the river in one day over here. Yeah.
Okay.
That was 11, and then if you want to cross, you can get to here. 12, 13 miles.
Can I just
to there.
reduce the sled? Does that reduce our weight?
I think you'd have to reduce a person.
What if I just reduced all of us and our equipment?
We're over it now. Forget it.
Yeah, just
It might change things, but you would want the sail to be just as big to catch as much wind as possible. I don't
Sure,
know.
we'll leave the sled alone. Like I would just, it's fine.
Yeah.
What's done is done.
I feel like there's a much easier way to do this, right?
Yeah. And you can, however you want to do it, you can get to it. You've got enough movement to get here.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
You approach a walled city. The front wall runs for quite a considerable distance, kind of like across there. Let me pull up my actual map.
Oh, we don't have a map of the city, surely.
Yaromir, you will notice that this wall, like the wall in the north at New Haven, has a different colored stones set in it to spell out a word, and the word is Conquest. That is written into the side of this wall.
Does it look like human engineering?
Yeah.
Good.
As opposed to what?
I don't know. Scrags?
Dwarven engineering.
I mean, I should say it looks man-made, but whether it's human or dwarven or elven or scraggin, you have no idea.
Okay, well.
Let's see, the wall runs for more than a mile, maybe like a mile and a half, mile and 3/4, in a diagonal, kind of blocking off an entire back section. So it runs from coast to coast of this little inlet here with a single gate somewhere in the middle, but other parts of the wall have been knocked down. They look a little worn. Back behind the wall, on what is probably a man-made hill, since everything else around here is pretty flat, is a ruined keep that is kind of like rising up above everything else.
Sweet.
It's a fairly large keep as well, quite large, in fact. I don't know, it's got to be like 500 feet on a side or something.
Wow.
And it rises many, many stories, but it's completely crumbled and just like, it's the worst condition keep you've ever seen. The outside is more or less just like a pyramidic pile of rubble. But you can see that it was once probably a fortress of some kind, and the rubble just kind of blends into the dirt and snow at some point. Yeah, and here you are outside of a city named Conquest or something.
All right, let's make our way in. If we can't enter through the gates, we'll enter through the part of the wall that's broken.
Yeah. The gate is knocked down, so you can enter through that or the ruined wall, whichever you want.
No,
and as you walk in, you find yourself in the ruins of an ancient city. Buildings here are mostly made of stone, and so they are all semi-standing. And there are just, by sheer numbers of them, there's enough that most of the buildings are intact. Like, it doesn't look like it's been that heavily destroyed. Many things are broken here and there, but there are plenty of mostly intact buildings. And once you get past the first wall, you see that there's another wall that is before the keep with multiple gates in it. And there's a large, maybe like, 60-foot elliptical building that looks like a large coliseum off to the east side, while the keep is still before you.
Wow. This seems like it could be the capital city. I say, looking around. Let's look for a base of operations to set up. The keep looks ruined. Maybe we can find a temple, a cathedral. Is there another large building that seems like a temple?
Yeah. We'll just say you spend the day searching through the city, because it's a big city. It's many square miles.
Yeah, I think it's going to take more than a day, right, to search everything.
Yeah, it'll take a while to search.
Upon initial inspection, does stuff look looted?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
So we are going to be scrounging around for locked dungeons and things like that, more than just...
Yeah, I don't think we're finding
buildings. Okay, yeah, let's find a temple, and then when we get set up, I think we check catacombs. We try and get maybe into the dungeons of the keep. If there was like an underground section, that maybe we find entry into that.
Okay.
Anything else that maybe would have been built underground? The treasury of the keep. I mean, that's where we really want to find.
I'm going to say you spend the rest of this day and one other full day to get the layout of this.
Okay.
This everything.
Yeah.
I think we're mostly looking at the keep. Like, we don't care too much about the town at this point.
Sure. So you got to get past 2 levels of walls to get to the keep, which is on this raised hill. The keep itself looks completely destroyed. What it really looks like, because many of these other buildings don't, is that some large creature has been climbing this keep or standing on this keep or using this keep as a lookout point for a long time and has just crumbled the entire thing. There's definitely no entryway anymore, but you can see where a path might have been that would have wound up to it. So you can see where the front door would have been, but it's it's been ruined and crumbled and under tons and tons of rubble. It's conceivably excavatable, but you would be like needing a work team for weeks or months to properly do it.
So clearly, I say, well, it looks like Frostbite was here before it fell asleep.
Yes.
So we should be careful on it.
You find 6 temples and a coliseum. One temple is dedicated to Velmontarius, the god of justice. No. One temple's dedicated to Velthara, the goddess of vengeance.
Yeah.
There is one dedicated to Bellum, the god of war. There is one dedicated to Illumis, the sun god. There is one in a different quarter right near the ocean, right near the lake, dedicated to Quantarius, the god of trade. And there is a very large center temple dedicated to all the gods.
Okay. So back, I don't remember if I asked this before. It's kind of a thing where we thought there used to be winter gods, right?
That is a
conspiracy
rumor.
Theories.
It's conspiracy theory. Rumor.
That's a thing that chat has like pushed from the very beginning, but has never been a part of the campaign.
Looking around these temples, is there anything beyond the pantheon that we know today in this general temple?
No, it contains the exact same 28, 29 gods that you
Does it
recognize.
look like it's been defaced at all to remove anything that might have been here before?
The only thing missing from the general temple is the statue of Velthara. It is missing.
Okay, so it doesn't look like there might have been more slots that a pantheon could have gone into that was then removed.
In fact, this temple looks surprisingly well preserved. All the valuables, of course, are taken, but some of the other buildings have clear signs of vandalism or things being slightly destroyed. These temples look like whatever creatures have been here have let them sit and left them alone, and it's just the wear and tear of freezing and snow that have damaged them.
Okay.
Temples of note. Quantarius, trade, might be potential like storehouses or loot there that might be harder to find or were more protected, considering it probably is where like a lot of trade went through, right? Velthara, because of gnolls, right? That might be a temple that we really want to look at. We've had experiences of that before. And the general temple seems like the biggest one, right? I think we can safely assume the rest of them are kind of flavor.
But like more importantly though, right, there's bound to be businesses in the city or in the temples that have like lockboxes that have been hidden away that haven't been found by the gnolls, because that's happened in the past with places that we know the gnolls have been and they haven't got everything. So we start with the temples, but it's definitely worth scouting around looking for.
I don't think you want to look through every single business for their lockbox of 20 gold, right? You want to find the
but high profile ones
possible.
Goldsmiths, jewelers.
Right, yeah, okay, sure. If you find a big jeweler or goldsmith, right, but I don't think you want to break into just everything. You want to be a little more tactical in your approach.
How would you identify which ones are like the upscale places when this whole place is kind of a ruined
well, if you find any brothels, turns out they're rich as hell. Go
to the brothel.
Go to every brothel. I don't know. I can read you if there's any signs remaining. We can read them.
That
Right?
might be, the buildings in the central ring of town are probably where the more high-end shops are.
I would say, I would say go towards the keep, right? Because nobles and rich people often live towards the keeps.
But let's set up shop in the general temple, and we can look for the catacombs here first.
Yeah.
Sure. We're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we will learn a little bit about these temples and see what you guys want to do. So see you guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.